Hello, my name is Veneer and I am with Group L. The rest of my group members are Jihan, Eli, and Victoria. And our topic is AI and how misinformation is spread using AI. And the title of our website is Intelligent Machines and Misguided Truths. So this is the homepage. As you can see, we have four case studies where we have talked about how particularly AI impacted these four events, these global events, and how they change people's perspective, political alignment, and so on and so forth. And then I've also linked a real versus fake quiz, so you can prevent yourself from being duped when you see these real or fake images online. Um, and then just diving in one of the case studies for Gaza, the Gaza conflict exemplifies how AI-driven coordinated activity on social media can influence public perception and emotional response. Um, this was found using a lot of sources that came up during the whole conflict, and then how circulated AI media uh, tried to manipulate public information, and then which actually delayed a lot of help that could have reached to the area sooner. So we all know about this image. This was viral on social media. This was AI created, and then if you click on this link, it tells you about the whole story behind the famous image. And then as you go down the timeline, there's a deep fake video of a political leader. And then you can see here, like there's a child and his hand is like harmed, but that is also AI created. And then as you go down the timeline, you'll see different instances where AI was used to manipulate information. And then there's a poll here for the people. Would you change your political inclination based on AI images or not? Or would you take the time to fact check an image circulating on Instagram? This is kind of interesting because when we scroll, we don't usually take out the time to go and search up a thing, which, because scrolling is more of a leisure time activity, and you don't see it in an academic context, but especially about topics like this, I strongly feel that you should fact check information. So that was from my side, and I'll pass it over to the rest of my teammates.
My name is Eli Freed, and this page is on the history of AI. And the reason we have a page like this is because this website talks a lot about AI generated misinformation, and I think it's important that the users have a little bit of background on how AI came to be, and also why it's important in modern day society and how quickly it has grown to become so important in so many of our lives. So I start off with an interactive timeline, and this starts off in the 1950s. It goes all the way to the present day with ChatGPT, and then a card on the current state of AI and what it might look like going forward. And the reason I have an interactive timeline like this is to, one, give a little bit of background, go through important milestones in the history of AI, but also to kind of showcase how quickly it has exploded, with ChatGPT reaching 1 million users in just 5 days, which was a new record. And the impact on the users is, I hope, to get them to care a little bit more about generative AI, and hopefully get them to realize that this is an important technology and they should care about it, and they should care about why AI generated misinformation is dangerous. The next section is to getting to know AI. So I believe the best way to protect yourself is to play around with the tools yourself and to get familiar with the type of content that they generate. So right here I have examples of different AI tools: text generation, image generation, video generation, and audio generation. And by clicking on the card, it brings you to the site so you can play around with it yourself. So here's DALL-E, there's ChatGPT. And then finally, I have a section on, I call it by the numbers, and this is just some important statistics that was done on American citizens in a survey. So just one of them is 53% of Americans have used generative AI. That's kind of jaw-dropping to me, and I think it would have an important impact on users of the site. And again, driving home the point that they should care about this technology. So many people in society are using this technology, and they should pay attention to the information on this site. On the US 2024 election. So at first I have a little paragraph setting the stage, explaining the candidates, etc. And then I have a bunch of specific instances from the 2024 election of AI generated misinformation. So we have Elon shares a deepfake video, Biden robocalls, Swifties for Trump, and so on. And for each of these sections, I have the description in the blue text, and then in the orange text, I have the potential impact. So why the user should care and how this might have influenced the election in any way. There's also a link to a YouTube video if they wish to learn more. I have a section on impacts. So again, driving home the point of what are the potential impacts of this AI-generated misinformation, mistrust in news sources, believing false rhetoric, and voter influence. And then finally, once the user has ingested all of this information, they get to take a little poll and see how their opinions compare to their peers. So does AI have a place in election campaigning? I don't think so. I'm going to click mostly no. And you can see there's 3 votes and see where they end up. Same thing for this poll right here.
In another one of our case studies, we talk about Sybil and lung cancer. Sybil is an AI tool that assists and helps radiologists with diagnosing lung cancer, and it helps the radiologist improve diagnostic accuracy, interpretation time, and also helps catch cancer earlier.
Hello, my name is Victoria Ukman, and today I'm going to be walking through one of our case studies as well as 2 of our interactive images. First, I'm going to discuss our Hurricane Helene case study, which discusses the impact of AI-generated misinformation on Hurricane Helene. We have 4 main images that we're looking at, which are exaggerations of the devastation that happened due to Helene. We have buttons to link to all these sources and articles. Next, we have an image that evokes emotion. So we're taking a peek at all these different AI generated images and why they're being so popular. This one's politically charged, so obviously it's going to do mass spread of information on things like Facebook. And we also see it not only happening with Helene, but Milton and other natural disasters. So as we move on, we have not only recommendations, but identifying why this is important. We're showing how there's public panic, there's erosion of trust in official sources, and what these economic implications and human power implications are on these natural disasters. Here we go into some recommendations, and then I'm going to go into an actually more interactive portion of our website, which is testing our AI awareness. So here we have a little quiz. We have some suggestions on where you should look at first on our website to maybe get a little edge up. But if you just want to start out and have sort of a baseline test, you can click start here. And you can just guess which ones are real and fake. I'm going to say this one's real and I was wrong. This one's real. And you go through these sort of 5 images. And at the end, I'm just going to go through and finish up here. I'm going to say this one's real. And our last one. So you can tell I did a really, really poor job. I only got 2 out of 5. And so if I'm looking to make my score better, I'm going to scroll up to our Learn How to Spot AI, which gives you some tips and tricks on how to spot AI, clearly. So I'm going to go through here. I can already see some of my AI generated images that look a little bit wonky. And so here you have suggestions that, oh, count the fingers or check the reflections or inspect the fur patterns. I'm going to go to count fingers first. And then I'm just going to click that. And it should bring it up to a question I should ask myself. Why should you check the hands or other body parts in AI generated images? And so you have these little tips and tricks, and then you can take a closer look at, oh, this is maybe what I should be looking out for. Why do the nails look like that? Or why are there so many fingers? So that you're able to spot more. And so you can go through all of our different tips and tricks to figure out how to best identify AI generated images, as all of these AI generated sources are becoming much, much better at producing realistic figures that humans can't determine which is which. Anyways, thank you so much for listening.
And in this slide, we talk about media literacy and why it's important in the future. So it's important in reasons like where you need to be able to tell the difference between real and fake media. It's important to develop critical thinking skills. And there are also ethical consequences that people need to know about using AI. And then here we created polls that ask people what they feel. So like for example, we can say like somewhat confident and also tell people what the percentage of voters is. So we could like click things. On this page, we talk about the future of generated AI, and this could lead to things like personalized content, realistic media, creative collaborations, trust and ethic problems. And then here we have an interactive place where we ask the question, what are your predictions for the future of our society with technology? And we could answer like bionic people. And you can also reply to other people and see what other people have put.